Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Halifax Raiders Draft to Glory franchise mode here in NHL 24. So in last episode, we had the season simulation, and we have made it back to the playoffs with a record of 54, 23, and 5, which is great considering this could be the last year in the NHL for a couple guys on our roster, so we hopefully could have a good playoff run as well to hopefully give ourselves a chance at getting Mauricio that Stanley Cup, because I think he's the first priority to try and get that Stanley Cup for, considering he is now 39 years of age, which is kind of ridiculous. So he could retire this season, or he could be one of those guys that maybe plays till he's like 42 years old, but he's definitely on the decline a little bit. But he was still very good this season. He did get injured at one point, so he missed like 7 games due to injury, but he was still one of our best players with 48 goals and 84 points. So hopefully we have a good playoffs ahead for Mauricio and for a lot of the other players on this team. You can see from our forward perspective, there's a good chance we could lose Wilm, Lehman, maybe even Ahin to retirement this season. And from a defensive standpoint, we even have Boyds who's getting close to retirement. So those 4 guys could potentially be on the way out very, very soon. But the good thing is we do have still a solid roster on paper. Obviously, it's not as good as it was multiple years back, like probably 5 to 10 seasons ago, but it is still a good enough roster to get us into the playoffs. Now, one thing that is kind of not great is the fact that we did have an injury to Marty Cardwell. He will be missing, I think it was the entire first round or part of the first round, so it's a pretty big blow to our defensive core, so I'm a little bit scared about that, but hopefully our team can kind of weather the storm, so to speak, and then maybe he'll come back and help us even more so. But our defensive core on paper is, I'd say, a lot better than it was last year in a sense, just because of Kavanaugh getting some very good growth, and also the fact that we brought back Burish. So hopefully we can have a good run there. And we also do have good goaltending, because we do have Burkov, who's obviously been a pretty solid goaltender for the last like 5 seasons. And then we have Zadorov, who's easily going to be his successor at some point and should be pretty good as well. As you can see here was Burkov's stats this season. He had a 905, so he hasn't been as good as he was when he had a 916 and stuff like that, but he's up to 256 career wins. He's been one of our best goalies for sure, and he's also been one of those goalies that have actually had the chance to prove themselves in the playoffs at some points in time. Obviously, he's not been the best goalie in the playoffs, but hopefully he can improve this year. And then if he isn't doing good, we do have Zadorov, who's never played a playoff game before. He never played a playoff game before at all. And he's been a really good, solid NHL goaltender at this point in time. He's been backup both seasons. His first year, he wasn't the best, but his second year, he was absolutely amazing. So I'm hoping he shows that in the playoffs as well if he gets the chance to prove himself. So very excited to see what our team ends up doing this playoff run, but we are going to be taking on Montreal, who we've obviously taken on multiple times in the series. They don't really have much of the similar core as they did before. Like, there is similar players, but they definitely have lost a lot of guys over the years. Like, for instance, they used to have like Caulfield, Slavkovsky, Malcolm Spence, but they aren't running a lot of those guys anymore because they've all retired. Now they have like Berkeley Catan still, who's been there since day one, I'm pretty sure. A couple other guys like Hines, I'm pretty sure, has been there the last few years. Tuzolino, Niederberger. So there is still the same like players on the team, but they definitely aren't as good as they used to be. They do still have also like Ernesto Carcillo, for example, too. So if we could shut down Berkeley Catan in that top line, I think we have a good chance. But they do have a pretty balanced roster. The main thing I would say is their weakness is their defensive core, but it's still a defensive core that has at least a little bit of depth to it, and they do have the goaltending to back them up as well. So should be an interesting first round to see if we're able to get ourselves to that second round. Now, what makes me a little bit scared is Montreal was leading our division for a good chunk of the season, and then they fell off out of nowhere, and we were able to win the division instead. So I'm kind of scared that the Montreal Canadiens are obviously going to find a way to win the Stanley Cup this season. I'm hoping that's not the case, but that's what I am kind of feeling with this playoff matchup. Winner of the series will probably play either like Florida or Tampa, I think it was, in the next round. So regardless, we might be going up against a team we've already played in the playoffs. But let's get into your guys' comments now and see what you guys have to say about last episode. So the first comment is from Ian Doubtnolov, who says, I suppose Burkov should be the starter for the playoffs. He earned it, plus his experience in this should be paying off. Solid effort from the boys. I'm up to moving Ozens and Colburn higher in the lines. Also question why you preferred Turnbull over Young and potential Ramo, but oh well. Canadians look well-rounded as I see things. Definitely will be a tough matchup. Really happy with the consistent success of the Miners. Also kind of expect us winning 4-3 and going into round 2 against Florida once again. P.S. Damn, I wish we could have snatched that Whitmore guy. He's consistently solid. And yeah, Whitmore's been very good for Florida on that defensive side of things, bringing that offense from the back end that we've never really had in our lineup, so to speak. But the reason why I've been playing Turnbull over Ramo in our lineup before obviously the injury that we had to Cardwell is mainly because of the fact that Turnbull, I think, is a right-handed D-man, right? Yeah, I think actually they're both right-handed. I didn't even realize Ramo is a right-handed as well, but he plays left side only, so that might be why I put Turnbull in, is because of the fact that he's actually listed as a right demon. I didn't realize Ramo was a right-handed defenseman because he's on the left side a lot, but we could always try and play Ramo and take Turnbull out instead once we get our boy back in Cardwell. There's an opportunity, obviously, for that, depending on how those guys are playing at that point in time. Like, I don't think this defensive core is super strong right now, but I'm hoping that it'll obviously be stronger once the playoffs start, and hopefully it actually kind of surprises us. And like I said, once Cardwell is back, hopefully that gives us that boost in the back end that we need. And the next comment is from Saturn Otaku, who says, love the 7th round draft pick. Boucher pan out at this level. Ozens is definitely having a sophomore slump, but at least his plus-minus rating has improved. I'm not going to make any predictions for the first round, just hoping for a deep playoff run. Start Burkov for the playoffs, but keep him on a short leash. So that's two people that definitely said Burkov should start in this round, and I totally agree. I think we should definitely give him a chance at least, and if he's not doing good, obviously Zadorov is right there. And yeah, I do also agree with about Boucher. I'm really liking how he's panned out, because obviously we drafted this guy way late in the series, and obviously the last 3 years he's been 80 plus points, which is amazing. So he's been one of the better players in the series, and he was drafted 227th overall. So you could get some pretty good steals even late in drafts, and he's still signed for 6 more seasons after this, so for the rest of the series, which is great. And then the final comment is from Ezra Hamburg, who says, and the goalie situation, I definitely think start Burkov since he has the veteran experience when it comes to playoffs. I definitely keep him on a short leash though, even though Zadorov had a great regular season stats. I'm just worried that he'd be Swiss cheese if you started him immediately in the playoffs. But that's all coming from someone that's hardly touched franchise mode. So yeah, I tend to agree with that. I think obviously if we played Zadorov right away, he might get lit up, and obviously that would kind of derail his confidence a bit that he had during the regular season. So obviously running somebody like Burkov for the start of it would be very good for us. He's got that experience. He's played now how much career playoff games? 74 of them. So he should be able to at least get that experience factor from that. The last 2 playoffs, he hasn't been the best. Like, his best playoffs was 2 years ago with a 908 through 17 games. Obviously, when we went to the Stanley Cup Finals, he had a 904. So I'm hoping for better numbers than a 9-0. Hopefully, he can put up like a 920-something save percentage maybe this playoff run. But he obviously needs to be much better. And if he isn't, obviously, like I said, we have Zadorov, hopefully, who could take over the reins and maybe do what he did during the regular season. But I think we're pretty much ready to go. I'm going to keep the lineup the exact same, I think, for now. Now, there is other lineup we could do. Like, for instance, we could put Wilm down the middle with Lehman and Ozens. And then we could run Ahin and Boucher and Del Rivera, I guess, is the second line. But that has, like, multiple playmakers on the same line. So I'm like, I'd kind of rather keep the lineup the same for now. But obviously, we could make some adjustments if we run into any issues. Now, we could play Colburn in a higher lineup like Ian was mentioning. But I don't really know where I would slot him in at the moment. That's why we only have, like, no, we don't have Raymond signed for 1 year. That's why, like, Hamalainen's only signed for a year. Maybe it's just so we could get him into the third line at some point. But I think this is basically what we're going to run to start the playoffs. And hopefully it is good enough to get us that win, because Lehman dropping down to an 87 makes me feel like this might be his last season. Wilm being an 87 makes me feel like this might be his last season. Also, the fact that he got injured. So I know that we need to have ourselves a good run here, or else we could suffer some major retirements in this episode, and that would be very not good. So this might be our last opportunity at a Stanley Cup, so might as well try and make it as much wins as possible here this postseason and get ourselves a Stanley Cup. So let's get into game number 1. We have home ice advantage for most of the playoffs likely, because we were one of the better teams in the NHL. Let's see what happens in game number 1. We have home ice advantage. Let's take advantage of it, and let's beat these Habs. We've beaten them a couple times, I think. They've beaten us a couple times, but when they had a much better roster. Let's see what happens in game 1. See if we could get that offense going, and hopefully we play good defensively without Cardwell in the lineup. First period of game number 1. 1-0 Habs, not ideal. We are out shooting them 13-11, so solid offensive period in terms of chances, but not converting wise. And Lideker has the only goal on Burkov. 1 goal and 11 shots. Not terrible. Obviously, it could be a bit better, but still, it's not too bad. So we're still in this game, obviously, so we need kind of a nice second period to kind of respond. If we could get 1 goal back at least in the second and tie this game up, we have a good chance to maybe win in the third period, but I'd still like our offense to find a way to score, obviously, considering they're not that good of a defensive team. We're technically not either without Cardwell, but still it would be nice for our team to find ways to start scoring and also keeping them off the board. Can we have a big second period here in game 1? Second period? 2-1 Habs, not ideal. They were up 2-0 with a goal from Niederberger, but Jacobson answered back for us, which is huge. Shots are 23-20 in favor of us. We're only down by a goal and we're out shooting them. Can we find a way to get that second goal on Graham and tie this game up? Let's see what happens. Come on, boys. Please tie it up. Power play opportunity, and we do score, and it's Mauricio. Let's go, Mauricio. But they answer back. It's Niederberg. That's not good. Power play again for us. Come on, boys. Let's get another answer. We didn't come back for this reason. Come on, you got to score another goal. Just one more goal, please. At least. Final few minutes. We're still down by a goal. Please, boys. And we're going to lose 4-2 as Lupul gets the empty netter. Mauricio got us back in the game, but that goal from Niederberger is the difference. We outshot them 36-32, so I'd say that's an okay first game, but we should have scored more goals, and we kind of didn't have the best goaltending results. But yeah, Niederberger needs to be one of those guys we shut down. As Jacobson scores from Colburn and Booth, so that was a fourth line goal, and then we had Wilm from Del Rivera and Raymond. Yeah, Niederberger was their best player, and then Graham was really solid too, so need to find a way to respond to that. A 903 save percentage from Burkov, that's kind of exactly what he normally does in the playoffs, so I don't know if I'd be mad about that. But a bunch of guys were -2 in that game. So I think we're already going to make some adjustments. I know it's only one game in, but still, we need to find ways to win, because obviously, like I said, if we lose this series, there is a chance that Mauricio retires, and obviously he wouldn't get that Stanley Cup. We want to get him that Stanley Cup. He's currently been our best player here in this early stages of this first round, but we are going to make some adjustments already. So what we're going to do here is split up Lehman and Wilm. So it's going to be Ozens, Boucher, Wilm, Lehman, Ahin, Del Rivera, and then we're going to still keep the bottom six the same. Defensively, we are going to move Kavanaugh up, move Booze down, and the rest of this is going to stay the same, I think. And maybe I go something like that. That could work, I guess. Yeah, we'll keep the rest of this the same. Hopefully Cardwell comes back soon. I can't remember when he's injured till. I think he's out for the entire first round, though. Let me double check on that, just because obviously that's crucial to maybe our success, is him returning. He's out till May 3rd, so yeah, he is out for this entire round, so we definitely need to play good defensively without him. I wouldn't say we were terrible defensively in that first game. Considering one was an empty net goal, we technically only lost by a goal, so it would be nice for our offense to find a way to start scoring in game 2, obviously considering we have home ice advantage. So they took one of our home games, which is not good. It means we need to take one of their home games. Hopefully we could do that as well. But here we go. Let's get to game number 2. See if we could tie the series up, because obviously if we lose our 2 home games, we're going to need to win 2 games in Montreal to get us back to square again, which is not great. So here we go. Game 2 against the Habs. Can we have a good response to that first game loss? First period. It is 1-1. Lideker again opened the scoring, but Lehman ties it up for us a couple minutes later. We're being outshot 14-6. So Burkov had a pretty solid first period, and we were able to score on 6 shots only. So we're kind of getting a little bit outplayed here, which is not ideal, but the fact that it's tied at 1-1 is good. Obviously, we haven't had the lead yet in this series at any point, because last game we didn't have the lead at all either, so it would be nice to finally give ourselves a lead if we possibly can. Can we get a lead in the second period? Second period? Oh my goodness, 3-1 Habs. This is not great. Well, you guys said to put Burkov on a short leash. I'm kind of leaning towards maybe Zadorov for next game. Holmes and Hines scored to make it 3-1. We're being outshot 24-18, so we had a better chances in the second period, it seems like. but we're down by a pair of goals. And there's a chance that Montreal's going to take both of our home games, and we're going to have to try and take both their home games. Let's see what happens in this third period. Tuzolino makes it 4-1. Yep, so I felt like this is not going to be an easy round for our team. We're just getting slapped in the face by a team that fell off a cliff during the regular season a little bit because they were leading the division. Now they're going to probably find a way to win a Stanley Cup. I don't know what I feel confidence-wise with this team. I wouldn't put it on our team fully, but I would put it on the sim engine and how it works. And we got outshot 39-21. We didn't even try in that third period to come back in that game. And yeah, we lose by 4 goals. We're just getting completely outplayed at this point. So, Lehman from Ahinen and Del Rivera, and it was close at that point, but then we fell off a cliff in that second period, and that loses us the game. Yeah, that injury to Cardwell is definitely hurting us a lot defensively. Booze was a -3. Yeah, we're really suffering here in the early stages, not scoring enough and allowing a bit too much goals. We're going to make some drastic adjustments here because we are being outscored 9-3 in 2 games. And we need to win 2 games in Montreal or else we're going to be in a very bad spot. So let's go to edit lines here and see what we could do to rework our lineup a little bit. So I think what we're going to do here is we're going to run Wilm down the middle. Boucher as a second line center. Ahinen as a third line center just to make us stronger down the middle. I know it might seem a little bit weird at first. We're probably going to run Lehman on the top line. Yeah, Lehman on the top line with Wilm and Ozens. We'll do Del Rivera with Bernard Boucher and Hamalainen. And then we will run Richter with Ahinen and Raymond. And the fourth line will stay the same, I think, yeah. From a defensive standpoint, though, we're going to go back to this again. How's boys still listed as a top 4? Trying to see if there's any way we could get maybe some better chemistry on the defensive side of things, which I don't think we're going to be able to here at this point. I guess we'll go back to our old defensive core, and then, yeah, Burkov has not been good enough through 2 games. I know it was a short leash for him, but in 885 through 2 games, we are going to take him out, and Zadorov is going to get his first ever playoff start. And maybe he could be our savior to get us back into the series, but now we're stronger down the middle and a little bit weaker down the wing-wise, but I think it might help us out a little bit in terms of maybe winning face-offs when it's crucial. I didn't even realize Ahinen actually lost his quick draw because he used to have quick draw, I'm pretty sure. So, completely forgot that he lost his X factors, but oh well. So we're stronger down the middle now because of those adjustments. Is it going to be enough to help us win 2 games in Montreal? Because if we even lose 1, we have an uphill climb for the rest of the series. So we need to find a way to win both these games if possible. So let's see what happens on the road to see if we can win in Montreal. This is a must-win game, or else we're going to have to win 4 straight games, which I have not pulled off a reverse sweep in quite some time. First period of an important game 3. 5-1 Halifax. That is a massive response. Obviously, I hope that we can play this good next game too, but 5 goals on 16 shots in the first period. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Let me remove my face so you guys can actually see all the goals here. So Raymond opens the scoring on the power play. Lehman makes it 2-0. Jacobson makes it 3-0. There, Sexsmith makes it 3-1. Wilm scores to make it 4-1. And Turnbull makes it 5-1. That is a crazy response. Shots are 16-5 after 1. We're up by 4 goals. Let's just not allow them to get back into this game, or else that's not going to look good, obviously, on paper. Second period. 7-1 going into the third period. Boucher makes it 6-1, and Raymond his second of the night. We're out shooting him 26-19, but we're up by 6 goals. Let's lock this one down, and hopefully, like I said, we could get this type of skill in the next game too, because obviously getting it all at once is not going to help. Raymond made it 8-1 with his hat-trick goal, but Niederberger gets them back on the board again to make it 8-2. I don't know where all this offense came from all of a sudden, but I am very happy with it. Sexsmith makes it 8-3. Come on, boys, just lock the rest of this game down. Burkov's in net now, which is interesting. I didn't put Burkov in the start, so hopefully Zadorov didn't get injured in his first playoff start, because that would not have been great. And we're going to win 8-3 in Game 3. That's a great response from the team. Outshooting him 35-29. Let's go, boys. But did Zadorov get injured, though? Because I didn't start Burkov. That's a weird one. So Raymond from Del Rivera and Wilm. We have Lehman from Wilm from Ozens and Lehman. Turnbull from Hamalainen and Del Rivera, Boucher from Del Rivera and Hamalainen, Raymond from Ahinen, Raymond from Ahinen again. Craziness. Let's take a look at those point totals. Wilm, Raymond, Del Rivera all had 3 points. We had Ahinen, Hamalainen, and Lehman on 2 points, and a couple guys on 1 point. Let's look at those plus minuses. +4 from Kavanagh. That's much better than he was a -2 or whatever the last game. Nice. Like that. And yeah, see, Zadorov played only 18 minutes and he allowed 1 goal on 5 shots. And then the AI must have changed him over. Like, he must have got a minor injury, or he actually did get injured. And then Burkov came back in and played actually relatively well. So maybe we actually start Burkov again next game because of the fact Zadorov didn't play the best. Raymond gets first star with the hat trick, Wilm the second star, and Sexsmith for them the third star. Did Zadorov get injured? Please don't. Okay, he didn't get injured. I guess he must have had like a minor injury in that game, but he will be back for the next game. But we might just honestly go back to Burkov based on the fact he won that game. I guess he wanted to play net all along. Del Rivera has 5 assists through 3 games. We're back into this series, but obviously we need to win this next game, or else we're still going to be in a bad spot. So I think making us down the middle stronger really actually helped out a lot. Boucher's only got 1 goal so far. He has been worse than Ahinen, which is really weird. So hopefully Boucher can get going. I know he's not really on a power play unit, is he? Yeah, Boucher's not even on the power play, but he had 80-something points this season. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move Lehman to the point with Wilm. We're going to put Raymond still on the wing. That's fine. But I am going to give Boucher top line power play time because I don't even know why he wasn't on the power play this season, which is kind of ridiculous because look at his point total. 88 points this season, but no power play points. If we would have given him power play time, he would have probably eclipsed 100 points this year. So giving him some power play time to see if that could spark his offense, that's the only adjustment we're going to make. And hopefully we win this game because, like I said, if we lose this game, we're going to be down 3-1. We win this game, we're back to square one again, and then hopefully we could win some games on home ice as well, because obviously just winning on the road isn't really a recipe for success. So here we go, another crucial must-win game. Can we tie the series at 2 headed back home? Obviously we lost both of our games on home ice. Can Montreal lose both their games on their home ice as well? Come on guys, you got this. We scored 8 goals last game, we could do it again. First period of game 4. 1-0 Habs. Not ideal, and it was a goal with 1 second left from Kenny Hines. Shots are 12-8 in favor of the Habs. If we could have just kept them off like a tiny bit longer, we could have had a scoreless first period, which would have been much better, but we're down by a goal after 1. That's not great. And then also the fact that we scored so many goals last game and now we didn't score any goals in the first period has me a little bit concerned that they're going to find a way to respond and be good defensively against us. But hopefully we can find our offense in the second period this time around. Like, it's obviously game 2. This is where we lost the game, was the second period. So if we could have a good second period here, anything could happen the rest of the way. Come on, boys. You got this. Second period. It is 2-1 Habs. Power play goal from Bernard Boucher. That's why we put you on the power play, to make it 1-1. But then a short-handed goal 4 minutes later from Axelson has given the Habs back the lead. Why are we giving up short-handed goals? We're a great... we should be a lot better defensively when we're on the power play. I don't even know what the problem is. But shots are 22 apiece. We're down by a goal. This is a massive, massive period for us. If we're able to find a way to tie this up, get that lead, win this game, we're back to square one. We lose this third period. We have a massive hill to climb against this Habs team. And this is a year that obviously, like I said, there could be some very big retirements. So we need to have a strong third period here. Hopefully, like Mauricio could come through in the clutch again like he always has. Come on, boys. Third period underway. Can we tie this game up? And, oh my goodness, Lupul makes it 3-1. But there's a goal from Ozens. We haven't seen him yet. Makes it a 3-2 game. Can we have another goal to get us this game tied back up? Please, boys. Please. I know you have it in you. You scored 8 goals last game. You could score another one here. Come on, please. Lehman, somebody. Holmquist makes it 4-2. And we are going to have a hill to climb. We are down 3-1. At this point, I don't know if there's a way we're going to come back in this. That's not great. We outshot them 41-33, so their goaltender has been pretty good for the most part, except for obviously the last game, but this is not good. Our offense hasn't been consistent. Boucher from Del Rivera and Ozens from Jacobson and Wilm. Come on, guys. We got to find a way to win here. We got to win 3 straight games against this Habs team that, like I said, I think they might go on to win the Stanley Cup just based on the fact that they were a good team during the regular season at first and then they fell off. Sexsmith is back for the AHL, which is good because the AHL team is still, I think, in the playoffs unless they got eliminated. Which means who's going to be coming out of the lineup for Sexsmith? Sexsmith is a right winger. Oh, it's Kozlov, right? Because Kozlov was the vet. So there you go. AHL's ready to go. Oh, man. I hope we can find a way to win this series still. This is going to be a tough climb because we've never came back from a 3-1 deficit, I don't think, in the series before. There's a lot of 3-1 series. Every series is actually 3-1 except for Toronto and Columbus. Maybe we're going to be one of those teams that get lucky and come back. Who knows? But we got to make some adjustments here. I honestly might go back to Zadorov because Burkov hasn't been that guy really for us. 889, yeah, that's not great. I know Zadorov wasn't good enough a few minutes he played, but we're going to go to Zadorov. And then adjustment-wise on offense, do we want to make anything happen here? Let's go back to Boucher as the top liner with Wilm and Ozens. Who do we put down the middle in this line? I guess Lehman could play down the middle on the second line. That's fine with me. We will probably go something like that, I guess. I don't really know. Who's badly minus on this team, or is there anybody? -4 from Raymond. He's been good offensively, but not defensively. I'll keep the rest of that the same. What about defensively here? Oh, man, the plus-minus issue on some of these guys is not ideal. It would have been nice if we had Cardwell still. I could call up, like, Mangone and whatnot, but I don't really know if that's worth it. We got to make just some adjustments to our group down here. So let's go Boys and Ramo. Actually, Boys and Burish. Ramo will play alongside Bose. And it will have Kavanagh playing with Turnbull. I don't really know, to be honest. There's not much we can do. We could try and throw, like, Dodge back into the lineup, but he's more offensive. Same with Coop. So it doesn't really help us out too much. I think we got to keep the rest of this the same. Yeah. I think we're probably just a bit too much of an offensive team because we don't have enough two-way forwards in our lineup to make us a good defensive team. But yeah, that's where we're going to run. We got to win 3 straight games. We got to take it slow. Hopefully Zadorov can get us back here with another win because obviously Burkov hasn't really been that guy here in this playoff run. He hasn't been the guy that we've hoped he would be. So let's see if Zadorov can get us a big win. We have not won on home ice yet this playoff run. This would be a good way to start it off, is to get a win here. And then we could maybe win in Montreal like we did one time so far. And then who knows what could happen in Game 7 if we get there. So let's take it one game at a time, see if we can get ourselves back into the series again. Real-time simulation. Is this the last game we see Mauricio Wilm play in the NHL? Hopefully not. I might have to intervene if it might be. Niederberger opens the scoring early on the first shot of the game. But Booz answers back on the power play for us, so that's good. But they get back the lead. I'm not really liking how Zadorov's playing either. But I would rather go to him than Burkov right now. Raymond ties it up on the power play. It's a 2-2 game, so very offensive first period so far up to this point. Boucher gives us the lead. Okay. Good job, Boucher. Love to see it. And we're being outshot after 14-6, but we have 3 goals. So we have 3 goals on 6 shots, so Graham is having a rough time, and that's probably why we're actually winning, because Graham has been pretty good for most games, except for obviously that game where we scored 8 goals. And so let's keep the offense rolling in the second period, and hopefully Zadorov can play much better in the next period. Come on, boys. Let's get some insurance. Make us feel a little bit safer. They tie it up. Lideker makes it 3-3. I'm not really liking both goaltenders' performances so far. It's hard to find a good playoff goaltender. That's been probably maybe one of the differences with our team in our playoff runs, is we've never had a really solid goaltender in the playoffs. And it's 3-3 going into the third period. We're being outshot 20-14, so we only have 14 shots through 40 minutes, which is not great. We need to find a way to get that lead because this could be the last period we see a lot of these guys playing for our team in. Please, boys, let's find a way to get that lead. We've had it once. Can we get it back again? And hopefully Mauricio could step up here out of nowhere and keep our team alive, at least for one more game. Like I said, I want to get to a game 7 if we possibly can. It starts in this third period. Let's see what happens. Come on, guys. Let's grab that lead. Oh, my goodness. Axelson again scores for them. We're down by a goal. Come on, guys. I know you have them in this goal in you. Really, man. We're going to get cheesed, I feel like. I'm going to intervene. We're down by a goal. We got to watch this because this could be the last time we see Mauricio. So I think we might honestly be getting eliminated here in the first round, which is ridiculous because this team should be doing a lot better. And that Montreal team looks way worse than us defensively, I'd say. But maybe the Cardwell injury is what's setting us back at this stage. Let's see what happens in these final few minutes of this third period. See if we can get it to overtime to maybe extend our season. Or is this the last time we're going to see like Wilm, Lehman, those guys in our lineup? I hope not. Wilm has already signed on for next season, but he might retire still this offseason. Come on, guys. We need to tie this up. We don't have a lot of time, and we know there's an accelerated clock a little bit in the final minutes, so we need that goal. Ozens digs it out. Here's Boost over to Boucher. Boucher finds Wilm. Mauricio. Oh, yeah, I don't know what he was trying to do there, trying to maybe spin off Holmes, but he didn't. Come on, boys. Let's get this game at least to an overtime. Give the fans something to maybe cheer about. Berkeley Catan walks in. Lupul a shot. Huge save there from Burkov. Another chance from Catan. Oh my goodness, that almost went by it. And actually, it's not Burkov, and it's Zadorov. Forgot that we had Zadorov in this game. But Zadorov may be still the future of this goaltending, but we need to have good defense in front of them, or else our goaltending numbers aren't going to look super good. But come on, guys, we don't have a lot of time left. Let's win this face-off. Boucher versus Catan. And Boucher wins it, but the Habs steal it. Come on, guys. They have full pressure, and we're into the final minute. That's not ideal. That's going to kill a lot of time off the clock that way. Berkeley Katana shot, huge block. Oh my goodness, I hate that they have full pressure in this final minute because that means they're just going to run around with the puck and kill so much time off the clock. Come on, guys. Boucher's very tired. 23 seconds left. We do not have a lot of time. Ozens can't get it out. Our team is very much struggling here, and then they get a... Oh, that's going to be waved off. That goal is going to be waved off for goalie interference, probably. Looks like, or maybe it's because it was kicked in, or maybe a combination of both. But we are still going to be probably alive. That's probably going to get turned out. Yeah, it's goalie interference, I think that one was. Are they going to call it a goal? No goal. Okay, we're still in this game. We're still only down by 1. The ref's on our side with 17 seconds to go. Obviously not a lot of time to get into their zone now, so not great still. But let's see if we can tie this one up. After that crazy turn of events. Burish walking in. Burish walking all the way in. He scores! Are you serious? What the hell? Oh my goodness. I don't think I've ever seen something so crazy. A no goal call in the final seconds as the Habs look to close out the series. And Hudson Burish, who we signed in the offseason to bring him back, just walks right down Main Street and is getting this game potentially to an overtime scenario to maybe extend our season. That is a clutch goal and a half, man. Was not expecting that. I didn't think it was going to make a difference because we didn't have a lot of time left, but they just let Bursch walk right down Main Street. And there is a chance we are going to be going to an overtime scenario unless somebody else could find a way to score here in the final 9 seconds. That's a crazy turn of events. Holy. Lehman wins another draw. Bursch again with the puck. Finds it to Del Rivera. Del Rivera can't get the pass in. Huge hit there. Lehman a shot. It's turned away. Rebound loose. Puck hammer line and denied at the horn. That was very close to getting us the win. But we are going to overtime. Is that the turning point of the series, that no goal call? That would be insane. Shots 28-26. It's a 4-4 game. We head to overtime, and hopefully this isn't an overtime that goes for like 20 plus minutes because we do still have maybe some other games to get to. And also maybe some retirements depending if we get eliminated. Come on, boys, let's get that win. That no goal call. Let's give that some morale to our team. Berkeley Catan walks in. Huge save by Zadorov there as he looks for his first ever win in the postseason. He hasn't been the best goaltender so far, but either has Burkov, so that's why I've given him the opportunity. Somebody has to run away with it eventually, right? Boucher at the draw against Catan again. Can Boucher win this face-off? No, he cannot. Get it out, boys. Holmquist to Holmes. Over to Niederberger. Huge save by Zadorov. Niederberger's a dangerous player, so that was a massive save. And as somebody is stuck behind the net, that was Ramo. Don't know what the heck he was doing there. So Alan Lehman has jumped up in our team's points. Del Rivera is currently leading us in points with 8 points so far in the series. Come on, Boucher. Nice face-off win there on the defensive side. Booze to Wilm. Mauricio wants to extend his career. He says, can he find a way to get that winner? Mauricio finds Booze. A shot stop. Rebound. Ozens with it. Now up front. And Niederberger takes it away. That was a dangerous play. But the Habs took it away. There's a chance out front for the Habs. They don't get anything there. Ozens turns it over, but Boucher responds and throws it up to Booze. Booze with it. Mauricio Booze to Boucher. A bomb, and it's turned away by Graham as well. We're getting some good action here in OT. Love to see it. I would love to see a Mauricio Wilm overtime goal, but the chances of that might be slim. Who knows? Still have our top line out there. They've been out there quite a bit in these last 2 minutes of the game and in overtime. Boucher wins the draw. Ramo to Wilm. Wilm can't get a shot off. Booze drops it down low. And now the Habs have it. Come on, guys, get it away. We know Niederberger's dangerous. That was close to being offside. Nice defensive play there. It goes back to Holmes. He can't get a shot. Catan out front. Huge save there by Zadorov on Leidecker. God damn. Catan to Holmquist. Get it out, boys. They are almost getting pressure. Shot there is turned away, and we are going to be able to get it out before they get full pressure. Thank God. Boucher to Ozens. Ozens walking in. Ozens trying to find Wilm on the back door. If that would have went over to Wilm, he would have had a good chance. Tuzolino now with it. Off the bench, tries to walk past Burrish, but Burrish says no. And then Burrish throws a nice little hit as well. I am really surprised Burrish got this game to overtime, man. But anything can happen now. That no-goal call might come back to bite the Habs, but it might also not, because there's still... Even if we win this game, we're still going to have to win 2 straight games after that, so... Still a major hill to climb, but let's see if we can get that win here for Zadorov and also for all our guys that might be close to retirement. Boys, Lehman with it now. Lehman over to Hamalainen, over to Del Rivera. Del Rivera with it. Walks in a shot that's turned away. Nice slap shot, though. Maybe the right idea, I don't really know. It would be nice if we could get some full pressure on them for a change. Tuzolino walks in. Get it away, boys. A shot on the backhand turned away. Loose puck again. Tuzolino denied. Nice saves by Zadorov. He's gaining my trust with every big save he makes. It's dumped in. Hamalainen, I think it is, skating after it. He's got the yellow Easton Synergy stick, which looks pretty nice. It goes good with the jerseys. And Leidecker goes in offside. I wonder if this is going to be one of those games that go to double overtime. If it is, this is going to be probably a long-ass episode at this point. Del Rivera has no goals in this series, but he's got 8 assists, so it would be nice to see him score too, considering he's been setting up people a lot, it looks like. Hamalainen with it. Hamalainen carrying it up. Here he comes. Hamalainen, he's got some room. Throws it out front. Lehman can't get the shot. And now they have numbers, the Habs. Gerbeshkov walking in. And they get a shot that goes wide of the net. Get it out, boys. Come on. Poirier a shot. Huge glove save by Zadorov. Flash in the leather to keep our season alive. Oh, I hate playing on the edge like this. Like, I hope we get this to another game, even though this episode might be long because of it, but I still want to obviously win the Stanley Cup this year, man. Ahinen wins the draw. Burrish over to Ahinen. He finds Richter. Ricardo Richter finds it back to Liam Ahinen, who can't get by. Come on, guys. Let's steal this puck back. Huge hit as the guy gets knocked right into the boards, and he's like glitched halfway through it. I don't know what the hell happened there. Herme with it now. Over to Poirier. Get it away, boys. Haynes over to Herme, and they score. Are you serious? Are you serious? We're packing our bags in this friggin' first round. I thought that might have been the turning point, that no goal call, but they're going to score in overtime. And we unfortunately lose in the first round. Is that the last time we see Mauricio in a losing handshake line, man? That really hurts. That hurts a lot. I really hope it's not the last time we see some of these guys. These damn Habs have been kind of like one of those teams that have had our number a lot in this series. That really sucks, man. Of course, it had to be after a crazy hit and whatnot, too. But I thought our season was going to get extended because of that no-goal call. But look at this huge hit by Richter. This guy gets smoked into it. Sexsmith just goes to sit in our bench. He's glitched halfway through the 20 hit mark, which is kind of funny. Does he even get out on time? He gets out, and then his team probably wins right afterwards. But, man, our season done because of this little play here. As they get a nice pass over. And I don't know what our defenders are doing there. I'm going to blame this goal completely on Ahinen and Richter. The two forwards get crossed up. I guess they're both used to playing center, but Ahinen holds off Richter. And that leaves Hermé right there. So, yeah, that one's probably mostly on Ahinen right there. Is this the last time we see Liam Ahinen playing for this team? Let me actually remove my face again, just so I can get maybe some more screenshots of these guys that could potentially retire. Oh, didn't want to open that up. Oops. I wanted to go back here and take a screenshot. Thank you. And let's see who else we got here that I wanted to get a screenshot of. I want to get back to when Mauricio was on the ice and stuff like that if possible, just to get more screenshots of these guys, because who knows if this is the last time we see some of these dudes. We got to get, who else? Del Rivera's not going to retire. We got to get Lehman for sure as well. Lehman should be still out there at this point. Yeah, there he is, number 69. Love to see it. Let's get a nice screenshot of him here, because I know you guys would like to see some of these screenshots at some point down the road when we maybe make some Hall of Fame adjustments. So there is Lehman. And our final one we need to get is Mauricio, which hopefully we can get him here quickly. Lehman should be going off at some point soon, and then Mauricio would be on at that point. But man, our season comes to an end really quickly. I thought we were going to have a better run than this, but just our defense couldn't hold up without Cardwell. And like I said, I hope this isn't the last time we see some of these guys. Like, I hope they all come back again for another year, because at least that would kind of make it a little bit of a softer blow. But still, it does suck to lose and not win that Stanley Cup, right? Let's get Mauricio again, because Mauricio is the man. And there we go. Okay, perfect. We have gotten our screenshots I wanted to get. Let me get my face back up here again. And yeah, that sucks. Third start of the game was Del Rivera with the 2 assists in that loss. Probably Habs players, the rest of the stars, my guess. Nope. Burrish gets second star with a goal and assist, obviously getting that game to overtime, which was pretty clutch. Still one of the craziest things I've seen, where a no goal call happens and then we get to force it to overtime. And then, of course, Grayson Lidecker gets first star with 2 goals and an assist for them. Any badly minus guys in that game for our team? Booz was a -3. Well, when your top defender currently at the moment, because Cardwell's injured, plays like that, that's not ideal. Why couldn't we win without Cardwell and then get him back into the lineup? That would have been really nice. I bet you the Habs are going to go on to win the Stanley Cup. That's my guess, just because of how this game simulates at times. But here was our player stats. Let's just run through this. Del Rivera on 8 points. Of course, Wilm had 6 points. It was -2. Mauricio did what he could. He's had 140 points in 126 career playoff games. Was that the last time he played in the playoffs? Hopefully not. We had Lehman and stuff like that on 5 points. But look at the plus-minus issue on this team. That's the main reason why we lost. Everybody just could not defend for their lives, apparently, which was not good. And then from a defensive standpoint, you had like Mauricio Booz, like I said, who was our best defenseman technically, considering he had Cardwell injured, who was a -7. And a Nico Ramo, who replaced Cardwell because the injury was a -5. So the defense failed us drastically, and the goaltending also failed us drastically. Zadorov was 1-0-1, but an 8.57, and then Burkov had an 8.89. Then it sucks a lot. Well, let's see those retirements, because obviously I'm not going to just like wait till next episode. I want to rip the Band-Aid off and find out about the retirements and the cup winners and all that stuff. Our HL team's on to next round, which is good, but who is going to win the Stanley Cup this season? Who's going to win some awards? Who's going to retire this season? Looks like our AHL team might have been eliminated because we haven't had a notification. Yes, they did. And Arizona goes on to win the Stanley Cup this season. That kind of sucks. Arizona winning a Stanley Cup before us, huh? Of course. Where did they finish during the season, though? That's what I want to be looking at. They were, oh my goodness, they were a 9th place team. So they were a bit more mid than us, but they won the Stanley Cup. Let's take a look at who was on their roster, just in case there's any former players, which I don't think there is, but never know. Let's see. Marshall, Nystrom. Do I recognize anybody on this team? Don't think so. They had an Ahinen guy on their team, but not ours, obviously. Oh, no. Mark Solis, the Stanley Cup champion. See, if we wanted to win a Stanley Cup, we needed to have more of an average goaltender, not Burkov. We needed Mark Solis, who has played now 5 years in Arizona after leaving us and has won himself a Stanley Cup. He's also had some very solid playoff performances the last 2 years, and technically has better career numbers than Burkov does in the postseason. Well, shout out to Solis. Shout out to him. Who did they win over, out of curiosity? Let me take a look at the playoff bracket. It's probably going to be Montreal. Watch. Let's see. Yep. I knew it. Montreal goes on to the Stanley Cup Finals to lose to Arizona. Okay. So we at least lost to the best team in the East, but still, we should have been able to beat them. Arizona wins the Stanley Cup. Columbus the President's Trophy. Arizona Montreal Cup Finals. Koskinen, the Art Ross, and the Hart. Whitmore, another Norris. That's his 4th Norris in the last 5 years. So this guy's been very good for Florida. Misa is going to win the Lady Byng for Columbus. Bureau for New Jersey, the Calder. Marshall the Conn Smythe for Arizona. Steckel the Vezina. And also the Jennings, him, and Tucker Perreault. So that's where Tucker Perreault went. He's the former Canadiens goalie. Remember from playing him in the playoffs a lot. Martinson, the Masterton, Ewan for Minnesota to Jack Adams. And then Bo Campoli, the Selke, and Koskinen, the Lindsay, and Richard. AHL-wise, do we have any awards down there? Yes, we did. Stewart was the best defenseman. Shout out to Stewart. And that is it. Okay, well, this really sucks, because now we're going to get to that stage where we find out, like, retirements and all that stuff. Look at the draft class, the progress reports, but will Mauricio return for another season? That's the big question we have on our minds right now. I hope he does. I feel like he could, but you never know. I am very scared about that, because our window might have just closed on our face if those guys retire. So Washington and Pittsburgh, the first 2 picks. That's an interesting one. Is it the next Ovechkin and Malkin scenario? Dallas at number 3, Buffalo at 4, and Edmonton at 5. Okay. Who is going to retire this season? Please don't retire Mauricio. Oh, no, he did. Oh, no. 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 I don't want to believe that, man. Mauricio Wilm retires with a better career than Connor Bedard. But no. No. Well, at this point, I feel like the series might be just over, because we don't have a lot of time now. We don't have much time to win a Stanley Cup. We will still have Lehman back for another year, but Mauricio Wilm without this team, like, we don't have the heart that beats this team anymore. We only have a few more seasons left, and there's going to be no Mauricio. Are you serious? That was his last game. He goes out without a Stanley Cup win. Like, I don't even think I can name another captain after him. Jeez, man. He retires over 2,000 points, at least in 1,000 goals, but I didn't think he was actually going to retire this season. I thought he might have been able to play till like 42, because I've seen some people play till 42, but he retires at 39 years of age. Definitely going to make it to the Channel Hall of Fame, no questions about it. And he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 seasons over 100 points. Incredible stuff from Mauricio. And I am going to miss this guy a lot. I got to get rid of my face again so I could take some more screenshots of his player stats. Because what a man he was. Let's get a screenshot of that. And we'll also get a screenshot of his playoff career numbers as well. Because Mauricio is the man. Preseason stats too, might as well. Actually, I want to go back to his regular season stats. I want to go past the shorthanded goal part so I can actually get like his entire career numbers for the rest of it. So we'll get a screenshot of that. And we'll go to preseason stats as well. And get a screenshot of that, because might as well. Boom. Man. Didn't think he was actually going to retire. He dropped off to an 84 after that playoff loss. That's crazy. But he beats out Connor Bedard. Let me just take a screenshot of this page as well, because this is quite the page. There we go. And I think that's all I need to take screenshots of for now. Let me get my face back on here again. But holy crap, man. Did not think he was going to retire. Actually, Layman could have still retired. There's a chance because we're only on centers right now. But let's scroll through the rest of this here. See if there's anybody else interesting in retired. Definitely nobody as interesting as Mauricio, though. What a guy he was. We drafted him first overall in our first ever draft. And yeah, he was definitely our best player for his entire series for sure. Left wing side of things, we did not lose Layman, it looks like, which is great. But is this team going to be good without its captain? Probably not. Don't recognize too much of these guys. Did this guy ever play for us? No, he did not. Okay. Wow, that guy was a first round pick and he only played 21 games. Not great. Wow, Tommy Teselios also retires. This guy was a really solid player as well. But not obviously with us, but with the Dallas Stars. He actually won a Stanley Cup, though. So Mauricio is going to be one of the best players that's never won a Stanley Cup, huh? Craziness. Louis Mathieu retires at 34. Not the most insane player, but 319 points in 860 games is pretty solid. Played with Washington and Seattle after leaving our team. Doesn't look like he ever won a Stanley Cup. Was a 4th round selection, so decent steal there for Louis Mathieu. Anybody else? Nobody there. What about defensively? Any former defenders? Wow, Person is a pretty big one too, though. I think he won a bunch of Norrises early on, if I remember, or close to it. Damn, man. Yuri Moroza wasn't ours. Man, I don't even know what to do at this point. Like, I almost don't want to... I don't even want to play this mode right now at this point. This is really frustrating. As I thought we might have had a chance to get Mauricio that cup, and I didn't think he was going to retire the season after we extended him. Gabriel Degg retires. That's interesting. Let's see, any former goaltenders? No. So the only one that's big that retires was Mauricio. I got to get a screenshot of this entire retirement class. Let me get rid of my face, actually, because nobody wants to see my face in these screenshots. There we go. And let's go back to this again. Boom. So long to our captain. Salute him, guys. He's gone down with the ship. And I don't know if our team will be good without him. That hurts a lot. That is crazy. Our series might have to come to an end soon. It might have to. Because what the hell is this team going to do without Mauricio? Because I don't think we have the heart and soul anymore that we used to. And there's a good chance that we'll be starting to dwindle and miss the playoffs a lot. Because now, this is what our team looks like without Mauricio. We have Boucher, Athinen, Richter, Coop. We have Ozens, Layman, Hamalainen, Booze, Del Rivera, Raymond, Jacobson, Colborne, Sexsmith. I think our team still looks decent offensively, but so I think Del Rivera would get a chance as a first liner with like Ozens and Boucher at this point. Or Layman even in Boucher, but Layman's dropped off a lot too. Defensively, Cardwell is still strong, at least on defense, but how much money are we going to have to spend this offseason? Like, I'd like to hold on to our entire defensive core as possible again, or upgrade it, but we should have still maybe a good team next season, but if we win a Stanley Cup without Mauricio, it's just going to look very much wrong. Let's take a look at, actually, let me take a look at who's up for renewal this offseason in general, because I didn't take a look at that. Ahinen's the big one. He's down to an 82, though. How much is he trying to get? That's not bad. That's actually pretty good. We might be able to afford a lot of these players back, but I don't know how much cap space we're going to have. Yeah, I don't know how much cap space we're going to have, to be honest, to sign a lot of these guys back. I hope we have some good chunk of cap space, or else we might lose a bunch of players after losing Wilm to retirement. Let's take a look at these progress reports, though. Let's see. Some statistical growth, some drop-off, some statistical, or just growth in general looks like, which is good. What about goalie-wise? Same type of idea. In the system-wise, looks pretty solid. Defensively, don't really have anybody even getting better defensively either. So we're going to have to hope that there's some former players in free agency to help fill out our roster a little bit. So there is that final thing, the draft class. Not that it really matters too much at this stage, but what is there out there for this draft class? See if there's anybody interesting here. Doesn't look like a good draft class based on that. Let me just sort by potential maybe instead. See if there's any like low elites or something like that. That guy looks actually pretty decent, but he's going to go before our pick. I don't think we have enough time to really even generate any good prospect growth. This guy might be a lowly grinder, but it's probably too late, but he might be our first rounder. There's a defenseman. Because a lot of these defenders might not even have chances to make it, so at this stage, do I even care about the draft? Probably not. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Halifax Raiders Draft to Glory franchise mode. So in the next episode, I guess we'll have another offseason without Mauricio at the helm. And we'll see what happens with our team, what our team's looking like going into next season. But I think we're going to still be a decent team that can make the playoffs based on how good our forward group is. But obviously the defensive core is still the problem right now. And after losing Mauricio, I don't know how much offense our team is going to generate, but I hope it's still a decent amount. So anything down below, and I'll see you guys next time.